Happy Monday, North Central Washington. Happy Monday, Wenatchee Valley. It is a Monday, the 10th day of June, 2019. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host, and thanks for starting your week with us here on the NCW Life Channel. We hope you enjoyed our special coverage on Friday night of the commencement exercises of both East Montana and Wenatchee High Schools. 2 down, 2 to go. We have the West Side High School commencement exercises coming up Thursday at 7 o'clock. The ceremonies themselves will take place in the Grand Ballroom at the Wenatchee Convention Center, but if you can't make it, we'll have it for you live here on the NCW Live Channel. And then we wrap up commencement season this year with Wenatchee Valley College commencement exercises. We'll have that for you live at 7 o'clock on Friday night at Lee Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl. And look what I got last Friday night. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, it's a diploma. Wenatchee High School diploma of graduation. Has nothing in it. Turns out they have a big box of these things. I didn't know that. Just a big box, and they give away as many as they need to give away, about 500 or so on Friday night, and then they take the boxes and put them back in storage for another year, but I figured I'd just help myself. So finally got my diploma. Had to type it, but I got it. Joel Norman, the voice of the AppleSox, will be here live in the second half of the program. AppleSox started out pretty good. They've had a bit of a rough patch, as a matter of fact. They got swept over the weekend down in Yakima, but they'll be back for an extended homestand starting tomorrow. Joel Norman will be here to talk AppleSox baseball with me. And that reminds me, we're going to have AppleSox baseball live on this very television station on Saturday night. The first of 4 AppleSox games will be broadcasting throughout the course of the summer. Speaking of summer, very summer-like weather is heading our way. Once we get through today we have a few high clouds. It's just a short wave disturbance that's coming through and bringing a few high clouds and some filtered sunshine, and then things change big time starting tomorrow. Near record high temperatures, upper 90s, downright hot on Wednesday and Thursday of this week. Forecast details are coming up. We will wrap up the whole weekend that was in sports, plus your Monday morning news, the obscure holiday, today in history, birthdays, and everybody is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. So if it's okay with you, let's go around North Central Washington with our Valley View cameras. There's those high clouds I was telling you about. So there's just a little bit of marine air, a little bit of marine moisture that pushed in, which is why we're going to have a little filtered sunshine, a little breezy today, but then a huge dome of high pressure is going to start building up over the region yesterday. And again, by the time we get to Wednesday and Thursday, and even Friday, really, it's going to feel downright hot. Good view of the Wenatchee Valley as the drying out process continues. Again, the Columbia River running high and running cold. It'll be that way for another month or so. Beautiful view there from the cross camera. That camera is located just adjacent to the cross at the very tip of Wenatchee Heights. That's where that camera is located. Camera 2, from this point forward, it's a guessing game. Megan gets to decide. She says Union Valley is a nice place to visit, and I agree. Nicely done, Megan. You can see the Chelan Butte in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Don't see any hang gliders jumping off that. Boy, that takes guts, doesn't it, to do that? Chelan just out of your picture on the left down there. Lots of green. Look at that. Just beautiful view up there from Union Valley, high above. Beautiful Lake Chelan, which I'm sure is starting to get real busy this time of the year. Camera 3. It is a slow dissolve to the Rock Island camera. Didn't play golf this weekend. Shame on me. I should have played golf. I look at that and I say, I just take the day off and go whack the golf ball around. Didn't get a chance to do so. But if you haven't had a chance to play Rock Island for a while, it's a great golf course. Not only that, but the new back nine, it's not really new anymore. It's been around for a few years. It's also very walkable. When I play Rock Island, I prefer to walk as opposed to take a cart. It's about the only exercise I get. Good morning, Rock Island. Camera 4, where are we off to, Megan? We're going to say hello to Arundel Rock. Looking down towards the Wenatchee Valley, Turtle Rock is there, of course. Can't quite make out Rocky Reach Dam. We call that the Arundel Rock camera because you have to call it something. So Arundel Rock seems good enough to us. Is there even something called Arundel Rock? If there isn't, there is now. Pretty much all the snow is all but gone now on Mission Ridge. That's usually the case as we get deeper and deeper into June. So that's our view around North Central Washington with our Valley View cameras. All of these courtesy of Localtel's Sky-Fi high-speed wireless system, which means you don't need to have fiber run to your house to get screaming fast internet. Just give Localtel a call and they'll walk you through the steps. It's 5 minutes after the hour. Some people just talk about the weather, but here at the NCW Live Channel, we really talk about the weather. And there you go. Again, we have to get through today. Just a weak little disturbance is passing through, so we'll have high clouds, a little breezy at times. We'll top off at 87. We were at 75 yesterday, our normal high 77, so just a little bit below normal. It was very pleasant Sunday. Sunshine for the most part today. It'll get sunnier as the day progresses, and then this high pressure dome we've been talking about is going to start building up tonight. We'll get down to 62, and then it starts warming up big time. 92 on Tuesday. Mostly clear Tuesday night, 68 for the overnight low, 97 Wednesday, 97 Thursday. That's near record highs. We may break a record, we may not, but it's going to be downright hot. We can safely say that. Time to fire up the air conditioning, whatever outdoor activities you have on Wednesday and Thursday, you want to do them early in the morning before it heats up. And then a nice little pleasant cool down comes up on the weekend. Remember, the Wenatchee Valley College graduation is outside, so it's going to be rather warm at 7 o'clock on Friday night. I leave off the field to the Apple Bowl, and then a great looking weekend indeed. Lots of sunshine, and this ridge of high pressure is a big one. In fact, all of the entire west coast of the United States is going to be sunny and very, very warm all this week. So get ready for the heat. Starts tomorrow and really kicks in on Wednesday and Thursday before we cool down slightly on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that's your forecast from the National Weather Service. It is just about 7 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a quick 1 minute break, but before we do so, special thanks to our friends at Confluence Health for sponsoring this award-winning program. I know, see, I got a diploma. Confluence Health, dedicated to providing safe, quality health care for everybody in North Central Washington. Your Monday morning news is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 3 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
Hi, I'm Jim Heinlein, agent here at Senior Insurances of North Central Washington, where we help our clients navigate the Medicare world. One of the things we really enjoy doing is teaching our clients about their rights. Like, did you know that if you have a traditional Medicare supplement, you can change that monthly all year long, regardless of prior health conditions? So if you'd like to know more about your options with Medicare, you can visit us at one of our 5 local offices, as well as give us a call at 888-2600.
And we are back at 8.5 minutes after the hour. We have high clouds and 57 degrees, 87 our high today, lower 90s on Tuesday, upper 90s on Wednesday and Thursday. Summer is almost here. Here's what's making headlines on this Monday. A 23-year-old Soap Lake woman was killed early Sunday morning in a car accident on State Route 17. This happened about 4 miles north of Moses Lake. The Washington State Patrol reports that a Ford 150 truck being driven by Emily C. Allen was traveling southbound on Highway 17 shortly after 4 Sunday morning when the truck crossed the center line onto the northbound shoulder and then rolled. Allen was thrown from the truck onto the highway where she was struck by 2 other cars. The drivers and the passengers in the other cars were not injured. Allen was not wearing a seatbelt. The cause of the accident is under investigation. Officials have not yet determined the identity or the cause of death, for that matter, for a body that was found last Monday in a car trunk south of Tonasket. Okanagan County Sheriff Tony Hawley says he is still awaiting autopsy results. The body was found after fire officials responded to a report of a burning car on Frosty Creek Road. Witnesses told deputies they had seen 37-year-old Lance Bowers walking away from the car, and he was tracked down outside the Aeneas Valley General Store about 2 miles away. Now, after he displayed a gun, a sergeant and a deputy fired at Bowers, injuring him. This is all according to the sheriff's office. Bowers was treated at Central Washington Hospital in Wenatchee before being jailed at the Okanagan County facility. Well, Brian Flones attended his final Wenatchee High School graduation ceremony. On Friday night, Flones is retiring after a 32-year tenure with the district, 19 of those as superintendent. He reflected back on his career and how much has changed since he was first hired.
I think as I look back, we went through some incredible demographic shifts in our community from 1986 till probably about 2004. We had increased enrollment. We had our Latino population increased from probably around 20% to close to 52% right now. Our poverty level students increased, by maybe 35 to 40%. So with all of those demographic shifts, there's a lot of challenges.
Flona has helped to facilitate a community visioning process called Wenatchee Learns, and to design the future education in Wenatchee by personalizing learning.
That's one of the things that we've really focused on is providing the right services and the right experiences for all kids, because all kids come in differently and they learn at different rates and they have different life experiences. And so providing those students, especially those students who would be considered disadvantaged, providing them with the experiences that they need so that they can move on to the next level, so they can graduate and they can go on to college, because most of these are first-generation college-bound students or in a career technical program. So what we've done from K to 12 is build these experiences from the elementary to the middle school to the high school that gives these kids a vision for a future and a hope for a future. And that's what I think has really been just the whole package put together.
Under his watch, high school on-time graduation rates have improved to levels that exceeds the statewide average. Well, May home sales were down compared to last year, and the supply remains low. That's the latest from Pacific Appraisal Associates and their latest real estate snapshot of the Wenatchee market, which includes Wenatchee, East Wenatchee, Malaga, Orondo, and Rock Island. 98 homes were sold last month. That's down 8% compared to May of last year, when 107 homes were sold. Active home listings in the Wenatchee market was at 135 last month. That's also down 7% compared to May of last year. And new home listings are down 14% compared to last year. The trend of monthly higher home prices also continued last month, with the average sales price up 6% compared to last year, $363,108, while the median sales price of a home in the Wenatchee market went up 8% to $338,500 compared to $315,000 in May of last year. Well, Chelan County Port District has included a new feature to its website to help recruit new businesses to the area. The port, in concert with the county, has added so-called Opportunity Zone pages to its recruitment website, which is ChooseChelanCounty.com. Congress created Opportunity Zones in 2017 to help spur economic development in areas that are identified as underserved. Chelan County Commissioner Kevin Overbay explained how this whole thing works in an earlier interview with NCW Life News.
We've come together with their port, their county commission, as well as the Chamber of Commerce, and all of us have been meeting to actually put together an investment portfolio to show really what our area has to invest in. And what we were able to do is, as we're developing that, we'll be developing a website as well that people can go to. So there's two components to it. There's an education component for those investors that want to get in and invest in this, but there's also that marketing component, that portfolio component for those larger investment groups. We'll be meeting again on the 7th of November, finalizing that, and then we'll be over in Seattle on the 15th. We'll have representatives from our group over there that actually the Department of Commerce is hosting an event.
The Opportunity Zone web pages provide an overview of Chelan County zones, ongoing projects, local professionals that can help with projects and funds. In addition to that, also contact information for the Port of Chelan County and the city of Wenatchee. Well, Chelan County PUD, stem milk growers, and the Diamond Foundry made it official. They held a contract signing ceremony Thursday afternoon that will provide the company with up to 19 megawatts of electric power. The San Francisco-based gemstone maker is leasing space in a Stemilt warehouse that was damaged in the Sleepy Hollow fire. Stemilt President Wes Matheson joined PUD General Manager Steve Wright and Diamond Foundry Production President Kyle Gazet at Thursday's news conference.
It's fun to be here today when we think about, it was about 4 years ago that the Sleepy Hollow fire came through the community and created a lot of destruction and heartache. And because of a lot of creativity and ingenuity and this private-public partnership, that we've come together and found an innovative way to foster new economic opportunity and diversity for the Wenatchee area. And so Stemelt looks forward to the Diamond Foundry becoming yet another gem of our community.
And I'll just say that we're excited because this is the culmination of many years of work coming out of our strategic plan. In our strategic plan from our customers, we heard an interest in economic development, but also a concern about how economic development might impact the rates for our existing customers. We think we found a great balance between those here that will allow us to be able to grow the local economy. We're really excited about the 35 to 50 jobs that the Diamond Foundry will be bringing to this community. And we're doing it in a fashion in which we think that there will be minimal impact in terms of our existing customers' rates. So that's going to allow us to be able to fulfill what we think are the dreams of our customers, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to serve our customers' interests. They've spoken to us. Now it's our job to try to implement that, and this is a huge step in that direction in terms of being able to have a strong local economy and continue to enjoy some really low rates. With that, Kyle, I think it would be great if you could take a moment to just talk a little bit about the jobs and the opportunities for the community.
Absolutely. We're very excited to be here and help the economic growth. With the success of the company over the last years, we are seeing massive demand for our product, which makes us very excited that we got this done so we can continue to expand here. And it's going to be a sustainable business, and we plan on being here for years to come and contributing to the community.
Gazet says at full operation, the foundry will produce 1 million carats annually. The company will generate between 35 and 50 jobs. And that is the news at 18 minutes after the hour on this Monday. The news with Grant Olson and Eric Grandstrom will be available for you to watch tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. 5, 6, and 10, your 3 chances to catch the news on television. You can also watch it on demand by going to our website at ncwlife.com. You can either watch the live stream as we're live on television, broadcasting via cable or over the air. Whatever's on TV at any one given time is constantly being streamed on our website at ncwlife.com, but that's the way you prefer to consume your news. Or you can watch it on demand by going to our website, and you can watch the news at 6:35 tonight while you're eating an ice cream cone. It's that kind of deal. What happened over the weekend, we'll let you know with Grant and Eric. Grant with the weather forecast. Eric handles sports, the news at 5, 6, and 10. And don't forget, you can use our website, ncwlife.com, as a tool for you to get a hold of us. You'll see the Contact Us icon in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Click away and have fun. If you choose to email, which is what I like, you can email us, news@ncwlife.com. You can drop us a line on our Facebook page if you so desire, all the good stuff. We try to make it as easy as possible for you to get a hold of us. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, sports. Mariners finally won a series. First time in about a month. AppleSox early season struggles continue. Also, we'll let you know how the Wenatchee Valley Skyhawks did over the weekend. Racing at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. We also have the obscure holiday today in history birthdays. Everyone is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. And Joel Norman, the broadcasting voice of the AppleSox, live in studio talking baseball. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
I found a doctor that I just really, really like, and his name is Nick Collins. I just like everything about him. He's very thorough, but he's not intrusive at all, so he goes ahead and checks out things that somebody else might just let it go. Just about everything about him.
Lakeshland Mailboxes is a small place with a lot to offer. Job one is shipping and receiving from A to Z. They pack it, they label it, they ship it. But did you know we also offer notary service, online computer access, legal forms, copies, greeting cards, and of course mailboxes, even passport photos. Schland Mailboxes, Everything you need in one small package.
We are back at 21 minutes after the hour. Before we dive into sports, our senior news correspondent Steve Hare just popped into Studio 2 here to let me know that they've just toned out an accident involving apparently a cement mixer of some kind at the intersection of Melody Avenue and Easy Street. That would be out there in the old station area of Wenatchee. Again, Melody Avenue and Easy Street. You want to avoid that area altogether. Some sort of incident involving a cement truck. We'll do our best to get more information on that before we get to the conclusion of this program. In the meantime, sports. Retired Red Sox slugger David Ortiz was shot and wounded. This happened Sunday at an amusement center in his hometown of Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. This is according to MLB.com reporter Ian Brown. According to ESPN's Marley Rivera, Ortiz was shot at a club and restaurant, taken to a local clinic. An attending doctor said the bullet was a through and through. Ortiz underwent surgery. Sunday is reportedly out of danger. Very strange story there. Well, the Mariners blasted 6 home runs, 2 each by Edwin Encarnacion and Tom Murphy, and they beat the Angels, as you see there, 9-3 yesterday afternoon. Murphy started the hit parade with a 2-run shot in the second inning. Seattle played add-on in the 6th on back-to-back solo home runs by Encarnacion and Daniel Vogelbach. Encarnacion hit his 20th homer of the season, a 2-run shot in the 7th. Murphy added his second dinger in the top of the 8th, and Kyle Seager polished off the afternoon with a home run to center field in the 9th. Wade LeBlanc picked up his 3rd win of the season as the featured pitcher after Austin Adams pitched a perfect first inning. LeBlanc went 6 innings. He allowed 2 runs, 6 hits, and a strikeout. Seattle ended up winning 2 of 3 games against the Halos. They travel today, then they begin a 3-game series in Minnesota tomorrow. Also in the American League West on Sunday, let's take a look at the Les Schwab scoreboard. Jordan Alvarez had a 2-run home run. Houston's Wade Miley combined with 4 relievers to shut out Baltimore 4-0. Oakland scored 3 in the 8th and 2 in the 9th, but they fell short in their comeback bet against Texas. The final was 9-8. Asdrubal Cabrera and Roughneck Oder each had 3 hits for the Rangers. Drove in 6 of the 9 runs for Texas. And there's your standings. As you can see, the Mariners still in the basement, but hey, they took 2 of 3. A bases-loaded walk, a fielder's choice, and an error led to a 3-run 6th inning for Yakima. And that was enough to beat Wenatchee 4-2 in West Coast League play. The loss spoiled a very good day at the plate for Blake Klassen. He went 3 for 4 with an RBI. Koenig Romig took the loss on the mound for Wenatchee. He lasted 5 innings. He allowed 4 runs, 3 of those earned, 3 hits, had 3 strikeouts, walked a couple. Wenatchee has a much-needed day off today. They'll host Port Angeles, the lefties in town, the first of a 6-game homestand. Tomorrow night at 6:35, the AppleSox will be trying to snap a 5-game losing streak when they get back to the park tomorrow night. Again, Joel Norman will be my guest in the back half of this program. Also in the West Coast League on Sunday, there are your scorers. Calvin Turchin and 2 other pitchers combined to strike out 13 batters Sunday. Victoria topped Corvallis 4-1. The win salvaged the final game of the series for the Harbor Cats as the Knights won Friday 2-1 and Saturday 12-7. Cowlitz scored 2 in the 7th, 3 in the 8th, including a 2-run base hit by Brandon Lees to come from behind, and they beat Portland 7-5. The win salvaged the final game of the series for the Bears after the Pickles won Friday and Saturday. Walla Walla remains undefeated in league play, a wild 16-11 win over Bend on Sunday. The Swedes were led by Justin Foles, who was 3 for 4 with a home run and 4 RBIs, and Parker Price, who was 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs. The 2 teams combined for 30 hits and 27 runs. Ridgefield's Carter Benbrook combined with 2 relievers to shut out Kelowna, by the way, Sunday. The final was 2-0. So to the standings we go in the WCL's North Division through 1 full week of baseball. And there you see it. Yakima Valley sits on top of the division. They swept the AppleSox. They lead 5-1. Game and a half back are Bellingham and Port Angeles. They're 3-2 on the year. Victoria 2 games back at 3-3. Wenatchee and Kelowna tied for last at 1-5. 4 games out of first place, but there's a lot of baseball to play. The Wenatchee Valley Skyhawks clicking on all cylinders Saturday. 66-28 the final over the Tri-Cities Fire. It was Wenatchee's 2nd consecutive win against the winless Fire. The Skyhawks now have a road trip Saturday against the undefeated Idaho Horsemen, 5 o'clock in Nampa, Idaho. The Big Rigs making big noise at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval on Saturday night. Calgary's Ron Singer took the checkered flag in the North American Big Rig A main event. Cody Graham of Ellensburg was the main event winner in the Dix Heating and Air Conditioning Thunder Cars. Carl Brandt outdueled Jay Evans for the checkered flag in the Plum Perfect Roadrunners main event, and it was Portland's Kenny Burns winning the main event in the Washington Midget Racing Association classification. The WVSO will take a week off before the next round of racing, Saturday, June 22nd, with the Pro Late Model Twin 50s and Bump to Pass, the featured racing. Finally, a reminder what's coming up this week on our broadcast schedule here on the NCW Live channel. We will broadcast Westside High School's graduation ceremony live on Thursday at 7 o'clock from the Wenatchee Convention Center. On Friday, we will have the Wenatchee Valley College commencement exercises live from Leibofta Field to the Apple Bowl, again at 7 o'clock. We're going to re-air Eastmont's graduation Saturday at 2 o'clock, and then our very first live AppleSox game Saturday night at 6:30. Then on Sunday, we're going to re-air Wenatchee, Westside's graduation, I should say, Westside graduation at 2, and then the college graduation at 7. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Monday. 26 minutes after the hour, the obscure holiday of the day today, always June 10th, is always National Iced Tea Day. Iced tea is an absolute summertime treat, and you're going to want some this week because it's going to get really hot. Of course, you brew tea and then you make it cold. There are any number of ways to make iced tea. A lot of people do it that way. They simply brew a pot of tea and then they put it in the refrigerator and let it cool down. Or you can make sun tea. Sun tea is always a popular thing. That makes it a lot easier. You just put a bunch of tea in the water and you let it seep out in the sun over many, many hours, and then you're in like Flynn. I think everybody likes tea. Most everybody I know likes tea. Mix up a big batch of iced tea. You want to serve it with ice, little wedge of lemon. Never hurt anybody. By the way, tea is the second most popular beverage in the world. Only water is more popular than tea. Enjoy a nice tall glass of iced tea today. I put a little bit of sugar and a little bit of lemon in mine. It's good stuff. Today in history, all three of these items today are baseball related because I like baseball. There's the headline from the New York Times from June 10th, 1921. So it was 98 years ago today that Babe Ruth of the New York Yankees hits career home run number 120, and by doing that, he surpassed Roger Connor to become baseball's all-time home run king with 120 home runs. Babe Ruth would go on to break his own record 594 more times. That's how much better Babe Ruth was than anybody else in baseball throughout most of his career. Babe Ruth became the all-time home run leader on this date 98 years ago. This is the 75th anniversary of the debut of Joe Nuxhall of the Cincinnati Reds. This was 1944. It was World War II, just to fill up rosters. Took a lot of work. A lot of strange things happened in baseball during World War II. Pete Gray, who only had one arm, played for the St. Louis Browns. Joe Nuxhall was only 15 years old. 15! He became the youngest player ever in a major league game. It was a blowout that was going on. The Cardinals were just crushing the Reds, so they put Joe Nuxhall in. He didn't do very well. Gave up 5 earned runs. He was sent back down to the minors immediately thereafter. He didn't pitch again in the majors until 1952, but it turns out he had a pretty good career besides his debut. Can you believe that? He's 15 years old, and he's playing Major League Baseball. Happened on this date 75 years ago today. One of my favorite baseball stories, June 10th, 1952, 67 years ago today. There you go. Bill Veeck, the owner of the St. Louis Browns, fires manager Rogers Hornsby. He said, "I made a mistake. I thought Rogers Hornsby had mellowed in middle age. Turns out he wasn't mellowed." That afternoon, the Browns players presented Bill Veeck with a trophy as a gesture of thanks for firing Rogers Hornsby because the players couldn't stand him. You don't see that every day. Thanks for firing the manager, Bill. Here's a trophy. We love you now. Happened on this day back in 1952. Finally, birthdays. He was born Chester Arthur Burnett. I know him as Howlin' Wolf. The legendary bluesman Howlin' Wolf was born in the state in 1910, passed away in 1976 at the age of 65. Blues at its most. Smokestack Lightning, Wang Dang Doodle, Spoonful, Killing Floor. The guy was a genius. The great Howlin' Wolf, a large, intimidating guy, but his music has stood the test of time. The legendary Howlin' Wolf, born in the state in 1910, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1991. Prince Philip is 98 years old today. Remember, he was in the news a few months ago because he got in a car accident. He still drives his own car. Probably shouldn't do that anymore. Prince Philip, of course, was real smart. married the queen, or married the lady who would become the queen. So he married up. Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh is his official title. He's the oldest ever male member of the British royal family. There's Prince Philip. He is 98 years old today. And Kate Upton celebrates a birthday. There's Kate. She's 27 years old today. I just wanted to wish Kate a happy birthday. And it gives me an excuse to throw her picture up on the screen. We're going to take a break. When we come back, everybody's entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. And then we hope Joel Norman is in the building, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee AppleSox. They got a big 6-game homestand coming up beginning tomorrow. Joel Norman in studio. When we come back, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
If you want to work in healthcare, choose the program that teaches the skills employers want. The Charter College Medical Assistant Program combines hands-on learning in the lab with convenient online learning, plus real-life experience with an externship. Classes start every 5 weeks, so you don't have to wait to launch your new career. Enroll with confidence, knowing Charter is institutionally accredited by the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, and be ready to work in less than a year. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Welcome to Boswell's Home Furnishings. Come in and explore their expansive 2-story showroom at your leisure. You'll find comfort and inspiration for every room in your home. Boswell's has been filling customer furniture needs for decades, from contemporary to the classics, for living room, dining room, and bedroom sets. Purchase in-store or create your own unique style. With Boswell's complimentary design service, your vision is their passion. Where would you like to start?
Is this really what we're gonna do on our girls' night out?
We should go to Club Crow. The bar and grill in Cashmere?
Yeah, let's go.
Looking for a fun-filled, friendly hometown atmosphere? Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is the place to be. Hi, this is Justin. Here at Club Crow, we have a full bar and restaurant, live music, a dance floor, pool tables, pull tabs, and live jam sessions the first Sunday of every month. Club Crow in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
The Pirates are coming! The Pirates are coming to Lake Chelan on the 4th of July for our 3rd annual 4th of July Pirate Fun Run along the water. The fun run is either a 2K for the beginners or a 4K for those die-hard pirates. Participants get a free pirate t-shirt, and if you finish, you'll get a pirate medal. So go online for information at LakeChelanPiratefest.com. Get on board. A pirate's life for you at Lake Chelan.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. I've been reading a book by Roman Catholic theologian Richard Rohr. Now, I have to say, I do think a lot of Rohr's questions and the theological dilemmas he faces would be clear to him if he was married, had a wife, and had kids. Okay, now, no disrespect to the Roman Catholic Church, but both of the mysteries and meaning of life and questions and stuff like that they might have been made clear to me simply because I'm married and I have a family. Now, learning to live and get along with someone else, particularly as someone who is as different and wonderful as Rosie is for me, has caused me to grow and change in ways I otherwise never would have. That's pretty simple, actually. If the Roman Catholic Church would just let their priests get married and have kids, they'd understand our life a whole lot better. I mean, just like you and me. Well, that is, if you're not a Catholic priest anyway. Well, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
Only one dealership in Wenatchee has Motor Trend's SUV of the Year and Truck of the Year. That's right, Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram has the all-new Jeep Wrangler and the all-new Ram 1500 pickup. Or get the best of both worlds in the new Jeep Gladiator. Visit Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram today for more information on these award winners and see why there's no reason to leave town to buy your next vehicle.
When you visit Harmony Meadows for tennis or their activity center, you need to drop by the Love All Cafe. Drink in a locally roasted Blue Star espresso or enjoy one of their all-natural smoothies. Show your guests the breathtaking mountains and surrounding orchards while enjoying a delightful and healthy lunch. Love All Cafe features varied noshes as well as microbrews and an excellent selection of wines. The Love All Cafe, located at Harmony Meadows in the Chelan Valley, just outside Manson.
And welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on this Monday. I am Dan Kuntz. It's an off day for the Wenatchee AppleSox, a badly needed off day. They're still early on in the season. They're still working everything out. They're getting the kinks out of the system. The players are getting to know each other. Most of these guys are total strangers, but there's a lot of baseball to be played, and he's back to talk baseball. He'll be a regular guest throughout the course of the summer. I'm talking about the broadcasting voice of the AppleSox, Storeman Joel Norman. I can call you that, can I?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
If it's my email for work, I think it's all right to use that as the nickname.
Hey, before we get into the nitty-gritty, talking a lot of baseball, you had your very first Miners burger last night, right?
Yes, I did. Oh my gosh, that is a whale of a burger. But it was needed after a tough weekend of some games, but really enjoyed it. And Yakima they got a couple cool places to get some food at that I really liked. I didn't get to last year, but Miners is a must visit.
Yeah, you have to go to Miners. You just have to, especially if you like big hamburgers. See my diploma?
Yeah, very impressive.
Yes. I stole this. Maybe I should I didn't steal it. It was just sitting there. It was a big box of them.
Is that one of those ones that's like a fake? It says, hey, your diploma will be in the mail.
There's nothing
I got
in
one of
there.
those for college.
Did you?
Graduation. We walked holding those, and they mailed it 5-6 months later.
Right.
Right.
I think they still do the same thing. Like a week
go.
later, you go down there and pick it up, or they mail it to you, or whatever.
Yep.
So your diploma isn't actually in the case it comes with. They just have a big box of these things, and they just go through as many as they need to. And then
Take one with you, right?
So I just said, hey, I could use one. So that's the only way to get a diploma. Early on in the year, as we mentioned before, still working the kinks out. Defensively, we're having some issues, aren't we?
Yes, the AppleSox currently lead the West Coast League in errors, and it's problematic. At least one in every game, 3 or more in all but one of the 6 games thus far. So there's some adjustments that need to be made. If you watch a lot of games at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium, you probably noticed that shortstop side, there's some funky ground over there.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is all the errors have been at second for the most part. Yeah. There's been, I think it's up to 6 now combined by AppleSox second baseman, which, yes, and that's across a couple of different players. So it's early. One of the guys we've had playing at second base who committed one yesterday, he's an incoming freshman in college, so this is a different stage for him. And we've seen this before where guys who are incoming freshmen come in this summer and they're juiced up and they're really excited to play, and sometimes maybe they overthink a few things. So we're kind of hoping that this is just an early season adjustment, get some more reps in, and get past that point.
Obviously, Coach Krustengel is going to probably have him take a little bit more fielding practice if he hasn't already.
I think so. You know, the coaches have worked on some fundamentals the last week plus now. You know, the practices at home, they were getting there a little bit earlier, taking a few more grounders and whatnot. There were a few more conversations just with the whole team as a whole. I felt like this past week, it was just the message was, you know, we've got to continue to bring the energy. It's early, but we need to have a little more out there. And a couple of things that Coach Krustengel asked for the team to do yesterday, they did do. He said, let's run a little bit more. Don't be afraid to get caught stealing. And one inning ended with a caught stealing attempt at third, but the AppleSox did go 2 for 3 on the base paths yesterday. They've only got 4 stolen bases, Dan.
That's it.
That's it. And it's all by one player, Blake Klassen, their first baseman. Yeah. So it's really weird that they haven't been running very much. And you've got to think for someone like Krustengel, who's kind of thrived on that and some power bats in his history with Yakima Valley College and with the AppleSox, you've got to think that's going to change.
Mm-hmm. Are the players getting to know each other? Everybody understanding their roles yet, or is it still too early?
You know, I think the guys have gelled pretty well. Okay. It's interesting because you start at home, obviously, and the guys seem to bond the best on the road because our coaching staff likes to kind of mix them together. They don't want everyone who knows each other to be staying in the same rooms. They kind of goof it up so that maybe a guy going to Boise State is staying with someone who's going to George Fox or something like that. You goof the guys up a little bit. You put them in different rooms together, and it works out because they're forced to get along as well. And more practices in there as well have really helped.
So more players are still coming in as their collegiate careers end for this year, but you're still not quite all the way there yet,
Not
right?
quite all the way. We've got a couple guys from Sacramento State who will be in an active, I believe, starting tomorrow when we return at home for a 6-game homestand, play the Port Angeles Lefties. We've also got an incoming freshman at UCLA, Jake Somm, who's coming in. So 3 new players at least coming in, and you never know. Coach Krustengel added one of his pitchers at Yakima Valley College this past weekend, but Seth Kuykendall is his name, and he only pitched in 1 game, and Coach said he might be in and out of the roster, kind of a guy on standby if we need an arm or two, because he's right down the road in Yakima, so it's nice to have that kind of flexibility.
What kind of communication does Kyle have with the other coaches from the other colleges when they send a kid up to play collegiate baseball at the Wenatchee AppleSox as far as arm is concerned? You can say, hey, this kid's a really good pitcher. He can throw strikes and he can throw hard, but don't overdo it. I'm going to need him back. Does that play a role in that, in how much you're going to pitch and when you're going to pitch and all that stuff?
100%. There's a couple guys who are pretty much listed as, don't throw them for more than this many innings in an outing. One is a player that Krustengel's really familiar with, Alec Gomez. He tossed the final 2 innings yesterday, and of course started for Krustengel's squad with the Yaks this past year, but he had a great year, 5th best ERA, led the NWAC in strikeouts, but Gonzaga said we don't want him starting in the summer. So Gomez is a guy for the AppleSox who's going to be kind of used that as a situational late inning reliever, which not too bad of a thing. If you've seen him pitch, he's got pretty good stuff. But there's definitely a few guys like that who coach has to kind of say, hey, can I maybe get 1 or 2 starts out of him? And, I'd love to, and they say no. We better just leave him as a bullpen guy.
Is everybody playing the position they're supposed to be playing right now, or do you got like, hey, I got a shortstop, I got to move over to third base because we don't have all the pieces?
Fortunately, our depth is pretty good.
Is it?
I think the one spot, I think we've only got 4 official outfielders on the roster. But that said, the guys who are out there were guys who Krustengel expect to be playing every single day anyway, so that's really helped out. But I think for the most part, everyone's kind of played where they're comfortable. We've got a couple guys. Some of our catchers are getting some action at first base. One of them is Zach Inskeep, who goes to Marshall. Marshall's kind of asking that he play first a lot this summer to kind of learn the position. And he's mostly been a catcher in his career, but they want to move him away from there. And we got a couple other guys, Hunter Montgomery, who's started the bulk of our games behind the plate. He appeared at first base on opening day, and likely he's going to get some more time there because Coach Krustengel said he logged a lot of innings for Portland this year. Yeah. And the hope is that Corey Meyer, who has been out for the past week with a thumb injury, when he gets back, probably Wednesday to Thursday-ish on this coming week, the hope is that he can start 2/3 of the games behind the home plate.
And even though these are young kids, 19, 20, catching will wear you down. I don't care how old you are or what kind of shape you're in. Catching is by far the most physically demanding position on the diamond.
There's no doubt about it. Fortunately for us, Corey Meyer's pretty fresh in that he's been off for the past year. Granted, he's done a lot of training. He's transferred to Boise State. Of course, they didn't have any games this year. They're bringing the program back, and they're going to be back in action this coming year. So Meyer was telling me, I asked him because he had a lot of back issues last summer, And I asked him, what's your health at? And he goes, I feel great. So unfortunately for him, he gets hurt on opening night. Go figure. I mean, the guy's he's been through it all back there. But we're hoping to have him back soon. He seems to be doing a little bit better. He caught a lot in the bullpen for our pitchers when they were warming up this weekend, but he couldn't throw the ball back. So he was flipping it to another pitcher out of his glove, and they were tossing it back. So it's when he's able to confidently throw the ball back, because you're going to have to at all points in the game, and then he'll probably be ready to go. But looking at potentially later this week is being back in game action.
Of course, if you can hit the ball, they're going to find a spot for you in the lineup regardless. I mean, if you can rake the baseball, they're going to put a glove on you and get you out there, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think one example is Blake Klassen, incoming freshman at Arizona. I say it a lot on air. I'm just really impressed with the at-bats he's put together. Made his debut with the AppleSox this past Thursday. Reached base 4 times, 2 hit-by pitches, a walk, a single. I love that because that's just his on-base percentage was through the roof with all that. Yesterday, goes 3 for 4, RBI knock, a couple steals. He's kind of an unconventional first baseman. Haven't seen a lot of power out of him, and he can run yet. So
yeah, I was going to say, normally first basemen don't lead the league or lead the team in steals.
Exactly.
It's not exact. You don't have to have great wheels to play first base, but hey, if it gets the job done, right?
We're not going to complain. I mean, he's done a nice job there, and he's been right there in the 5-hole. He DH'd and played first base this season, so nice to have that kind of effort out of the guy. Hits from the left side as well, and sometimes, I've said it before, sometimes these incoming freshmen, they take a little time to get used to it, and we see maybe later in the summer they've kind of got a grasp on the college game. JT Schwartz was a great example of that last season, but it seems like Klassen's off to the races and running away, doing a nice job so far, and probably, doing a nice job securing that first baseman position.
Is the batting order pretty much set, or is there a lot of moving around, or do we have a number 3 hitter and we have a cleanup hitter and that kind of deal?
It was
an obvious leadoff hitter, that kind of stuff.
It was a little different going this weekend. For most of the season, fans might recall Ryan Altenberger led off. He's played primarily at shortstop for us. Also seen a little time at second. He's led off every game going into Saturday, but on Saturday he hit third. So it was a little change up. Tyler Detloff has hit first the last couple games. He's had some tough at-bats in that leadoff spot, but, he had started off the year pretty well in the 9th hole. The only batter, I think, to not change positions in the order, I think, is Johnny Sage. He's hit second every game so far. Okay. Cole McKenzie, when he's played every game, is at third. So there's some guys kind of up there, but we'll see. We'll see if Coach Crustangel changes things up this coming week, because the AppleSox aren't scoring runs right now.
Yeah, that's as simple as that.
Yeah. This team, I think the pitching is there. I think the pitching might be the strength of this team in a lot of ways. They've got to get better defensively, and they've got to find a way to probably score at least 4 runs a night. If they do that, they're going to get some wins. But it's a shame because they weren't really in the games Friday and Saturday, even with having a brief lead Saturday. But Sunday's a game they should have won. Yeah. So if you tip your cap and you're playing a better opponent, but you can steal a game against them, and the AppleSox had the chance. But the errors were late, and these big innings this season, Dan, have been
killing them.
It's been really weird how it just seems like one inning has decided a lot of their games.
But a lot of that has been self-inflicted, as we mentioned before. They're having real issues with fielding, but they got to get used to their field. Every field is different. It's usually the first things teams do when they go to the opposing ballpark is that they go out and they take fielding practice to figure out, where the bumps are, where the hops are, is the baselines soggy or not. It's all that stuff that you got to learn defensively to become how much foul territory there is. It all plays into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I asked the assistant coach, Cash Ulrich, I said, what's that like for you guys? Because I'm sure the message to, of course, the Yaks, they're used to playing on their normal grass field at Parker Faller Field in Yakima, but not every athlete is playing on grass. A lot of them are playing on turf because a lot of these areas, you're realizing that field's going to take a beating in the winter, and you don't want the grass to be dead in the summertime. So most D1 college schools are having turf fields, and it's an adjustment for some of these players switching from turf to grass and the dirt on the infield because it's just the ball moves a little bit quicker on that turf, and sometimes they expect it to be a little bit quicker, and they make mistakes on the grass and on the dirt. So it's an adjustment, but I think in a lot of ways having today, this Monday off, could be a real mental relief for the AppleSox.
Yeah, they need a break. It's funny you bring that up. Do they work closely with the fields crew at Paul Thomas Senior Field? I want the infield grass mowed shorter or longer or anything like that. Does that play into that at all? I mean,
I think there's definitely a conversation. I think maybe that's a better question for our head of guest services, Hunter Brawley. But myself, because I'm not there when the grass is cut or he's doing anything like that. A lot of times the players they handle that infield though themselves. But the grass is usually handled by ourselves at the college, cutting that up. So it's hard to say. But, you ever stay after a game, I always tell people one of my favorite parts of the night is seeing the AppleSox players treat the field, make sure the mound's all set. Because in a way, they are the most essential grounds crew during the season.
Absolutely. They need the day off today. Are they taking the day off? Is there going to be any kind of batting practice or light work around or anything? Or are they just completely off today until the Port Angeles comes to town tomorrow?
No practice today. Players, if they want, are going to go to the gym.
Right.
Get some work in on their own time. But no official practice or anything. No, they'll be back at the field tomorrow. Some guys get in usually around, sometimes they like to get in around as noon or so. So the coaches usually get there around noontime. But so, hey, if you want to stop by and say hi to our coaches, that's the time. But
they're still getting used to their billet families, too. I'm
Absolutely.
sure there's that little period that's going on. Are we doing okay with billets? Do we need to mention that at all?
It's always worth mentioning.
Okay.
Every once in a while you get a couple extra guys added to the roster or something like that. Or some families, they signed up for early on, and after that they kind of say, hey, we could only do a few weeks or so. But always looking for more. Email info@applesox.com, and we'll let you know. You get free season tickets. For any point
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, a lot of special invites as well. We give you a discount for souvenirs. Lots of good souvenirs this season. We've sold a lot of jackets. Had some cool nights at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium, but looks like it's going to be pretty warm this week.
It's going to change. It's going to be very warm.
Yes.
But you got to remember, down the third base line, they have those big, huge evergreen trees. So if you sit down the third base line, by the time the game starts at 6:35 and into the 7 o'clock, you got shade. You're in the shade.
Oh, absolutely.
It's very comfortable. Notice the baseball here.
Very nice.
It's an official West Coast League baseball. This is the ball, and we're going to show you the video that Eric threw for the ceremonial first pitch.
Okay.
On Tuesday night, our very own Eric Granstrom. This little blotch here is where it hit home plate. And how do I know that it hit home plate? We have a video. Here's Eric throwing out the ceremonial first pitch. This is last Tuesday. Check this out.
Conservation Department sponsorship of our Bleacher Buddies. Bleacher Buddies can be picked up behind these large bleachers. Bring the barbecues back! By the AppleSox staff after the game. Each one provides a cushioned seat and a program and sports director of the NCW Live Channel. Let's give a hand to the original voice of the AppleSox, Eric Granstrom. Not bad. Let's hear it again for Eric.
Still has a better arm than I do, though. I can't throw anymore. It's a long story. That was, of course, last Tuesday. Talk about the lefties. They're coming into town. 3-game series with the lefties. What do you know about them so far this early in the season?
They're a little bit better than what the AppleSox have done to this point. AppleSox currently tied for last with Kelowna in the North Division. I believe Port Angeles is only a game or two ahead right now. So, from what I remember last year, it was a team that hit pretty well, but the pitching was kind of something that was a little lacking. And so far this season, kind of been the case. It always felt like every time there was a game with Port Angeles, it was high scoring and back and forth. I always go back to, we had one game, the series opener against them last year, and won it in 10 innings, but I think they were scoring in every single inning. And they had a game like that with Bellingham the other day, and Bellingham on the road knocked them off. So Port Angeles will be a test. Our pitchers are going to be tested because, like I said, they've been really good. We've gotten some great efforts out of them, but there's going to be some tests this coming week, and we need this pitching because that's been the strength so far. But the bats have got to wake up, and I kind of hope that in ways, if you each get one big game, maybe that gives them the confidence they need.
Yeah, a nice little 10-1 victory, and all of a sudden the floodgates can and oftentimes do open. I try to remind myself when I go to AppleSox games, these are college kids.
Exactly.
These are college kids who are trying to hone their skill and make it to the next possible level as far as their desire and their skill level will take them, and that's what the West Coast League
is the exact point of it.
All about. Very happy to see that Rob Nyer is the commissioner of the league. Has the league even had a commissioner? They haven't, right?
We've had commissioners,
but Rob Nyer is for a baseball fan like I am. He's one of the very finest baseball writers to be found anywhere. His books are must-reads if you're a baseball guy. That must be pretty cool.
Yeah, he's been great. I had him a couple times on air with me because he does a nice job of just kind of visiting each ballpark throughout the summer. And anytime he's around, I'd say, Rob, you want to come on for an inning or two? Just because you just pick his mind, you hear what he has to say. It's really fun just when he's on a roll. But he's really passionate about this league. He said to me, it sounds like he's in it for the long run at this point. He seems like he really enjoys it. in a lot of ways a summer job for him too. Some off-season work, but he seems to really like it, and we need that. We need someone who has that kind of passion for the
I
league.
want to pick his brain, is what I want to do. When's he going to make the big trip up here to little old Wenatchee town? Do you know yet, or is he
I'll
already
have to
come?
ask. He came last year. I don't think he's come yet this season.
Okay.
He was in Ridgefield to open the season with
Right.
them being the new team, and I think he went to Cowlitz as well. So he might be making his way on over here. But hey, if he does, maybe we'll have to have him on.
Yeah, well,
Wenatchee
absolutely.
Valley.
I would love to have Rob Nyer on my show. That's going to be
There
like
you
a
go.
2-hour show. I'm going to have so many questions. We're going to make television history on Saturday night. We've never done this before. We've teamed up with you and Jose and the crew, and we're going to televise a game on Saturday night. I hope we pull it off.
I think it's going to be really exciting. I'm really excited about it. I'll be watching the replay of that game later
Sure.
on. I think it's going to be really cool. I think Eric's really looking forward to it. I'm sure you are as well. This is really cool. 4 games you guys are doing this year. And it's just exciting in the AppleSox and NCW life. It just seemed like it was going to happen at some point. We're really glad we're making it happen this season.
And it starts this Saturday night. We're going to be doing 4 games, all of them Saturday night, home games, obviously. We're not going to go down to Portland or Cowlitz.
Hey, you're welcome to get on the bus with us.
That's true. But we're looking forward to it. We're going to have 4 cameras. Eric will be calling the play-by-play. By the way, you and Eric called a few innings last Tuesday. How was that?
That was
fun?
great. I love talking about it. I've talked to Eric several different times about his time with the AppleSox. So some of it was information I knew, some of it wasn't. But it was really cool. He was on play-by-play for 1 inning. I let him have it. And the AppleSox scored 2 runs. And if they had given up runs while I was on, I would have had Eric go back on just for good luck. But fortunately, they held on to the lead from there on.
It's not just baseball players who are superstitious. Baseball broadcasters can be superstitious as well. So the lefties for a 3-game series, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then it's Walla Walla? I'm trying to remember who's
Walla Walla,
Thank
that's
you.
right. Yeah, and then next Sunday, this coming Sunday, is a free rally towel giveaway night. So first 400 fans to the gates that night should be excited to begin the free rally towel that night. So we're really excited about that. We had our free cap night last week as well. And like we said, we're a little different this year, giving away a few things and just really trying to help thank everyone for their support over the last 20 years.
Yeah, 20th anniversary of AppleSox Baseball. When are they going to break out some of those special uniforms? Have they done it already?
They wore them once.
Okay.
I believe they lost that game, though.
Okay.
So, may not be. No, I'm kidding. no, but we'll wear those plenty more. Those are my favorites right now.
Yeah.
I like the reds a lot, but those white ones with the blue caps, I think that's the best look they have. So.
There's a couple of interesting baseball traditions. One of them is after you get it out and there's nobody on base and you go around the horn, the third baseman always gives the baseball to the pitcher. We don't know why that tradition exists. It just does. But the other one, especially in the major leagues, is that the starting pitcher decides the uniforms that the team is going to wear that day. Is that the case here? Or as Jose said, it's whatever uniform fits you that particular day, or which ones are out for the laundry?
So what happens at the beginning of the season is Crust Angel usually picks out that himself. Okay. Later on in the year, as he did last year, probably a little bit after the All-Star game for the final 4 or 5 weeks or so, he let that day's starting pitcher choose. And usually it was on the bus the day before. Like if we were on the road, he'd say, all right, so-and-so, like last year, Curtis Bafus, who's getting, what jersey do you want tomorrow? He'd say red or something. And we were winning in the red, so everyone loved hearing that.
Sure.
But, it kind of depends at that point. But right now, it's kind of new one every day. The Blues get worn a lot on the road. The Reds probably get at least one usage in both the home and road series, but hopefully we see those whites a lot, because we're going to auction them off at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Fans have the opportunity to purchase those themselves. So I want them to wear them, but maybe not get them too dirty. We'll have to buy a little Zout or something to
Well,
get
what do you
that
do
out.
on those road trips when you have like 3 games? Do you bring 3 different sets of uniforms, or does everybody just get dirty, and by the time you play Sunday night, you're playing in dirty?
The players get quarters for laundry, so
Okay.
that's included with the meal stipends on the
Okay.
road. So
I didn't know that.
They
So-
have the opportunity to go clean their jersey, should they choose.
A couple of really cool promotions coming up, but we're almost out of time. A couple of bobbleheads will be given away. One of them is Coyote bobblehead. The other one is the Marco Gonzalez bobblehead. And I want, as you can tell, I'm a bobblehead kind of a guy.
I am too, so I understand.
Not very bright. What are those dates again, so I don't miss those?
July 9th, it's a Tuesday against the Bend Elks, and then that
Okay.
coming Saturday, I believe we play the Bellingham Bells until the 13th. You guys will be doing that game, so
Yep.
you'll already be there. That's the Marco bobblehead night. We think that one's going to be packed. It's a Saturday night, a primetime game too, so we think that'll be pretty big. So first 400 fans, gates open at 5:30. So boy, fans, you might need to line up some of those.
And the
nights.
biggest crowd of the year always is the fireworks night. I had Connie Boggs, the pyrotechnic, on my show last week.
Okay.
She's looking forward to it. That's the 3rd.
July 3rd.
July 3rd at the conclusion of the game. They're going to shoot off fireworks right behind the left center field fence at Paul Thomas Senior Field. And there's no cooler place to watch fireworks and have it right over the top of your head. You can feel the concussions and enjoy the show. And that's going to be...
Absolutely.
You absolutely want to get your tickets for that. You can still get your season tickets, all that other good stuff too. AppleSox.com. Everything you need to know. AppleSox.com. We got about 15 seconds left. Anything else on your mind, Joel, while I have you here?
Well, we'll see. It's a 6-game homestand for the AppleSox. They need to get some wins. I would say they probably need to at least split this coming homestand to remain in contention. Obviously, the first half is a decently long time, but we got to see. We got to get some wins here.
I'll see you soon.
Yes, absolutely.
Provided this show doesn't get canceled, I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.